Hey everybody, so I'm standing here with my brand new standing desk. I got this off of Amazon. I think it was about 79 bucks or so. There's a whole lot of options out there, some more expensive, some a little bit cheaper. This seems pretty sturdy. It goes up and down. It's got a keyboard spot and a main computer spot. I don't really have a separate keyboard that I use, so this is going to work just fine for me as long as enough room to hold my laptop and my coffee. Oh gosh, where's my coffee? Um, okay, so I just wanted to talk about, so in our ergonomics series, we're going to be addressing a lot of the specifics that deal with working at a desk, working from your tables and desks at home, and all these different things. But I wanted to talk about three very simple things to think about when you're going to be spending excessive time at the laptop or at the computer. Okay, so I've written them down here. So follow along. Okay, number one, head position. Okay, so head position is determined by my vision, how good it is, and how far the monitor is, and then what I'm actually doing on that monitor. Okay, so everybody, when I ask them to take a picture of themselves at their ergonomic desk at home or their setup at home, everybody does a good job of posing for a perfect picture, but that's not usually how they're doing their work throughout most of the day. Most of the time, what I ask people to do is have somebody take a picture of you reading an email or reading things on your computer screen. And what you're going to find is that that perfect pose goes from to, okay? And so if you're spending a bunch of your day like this, now we're going to be feeding some tightness into your traps, feeding some tightness into the base of your neck, and there's going to be some potential problems. And so, number one, just think about what your head position is when you're working and if we can improve it. So, how are we going to improve it? Number one, raising the monitor height. Okay, if I'm looking down on this monitor all the time, and it's far away from me, my head is going to be constantly in this downward position, which is going to put strain across the back of my head and neck, leading to potential problems. And so, number one thing I want to do is I want to raise this monitor up to the level of my eyes so that I don't have to look down at all. Okay, number two, I want to not just raise this monitor, but I want to bring it close or far, depending on my vision, so that I can see an email and I can read off of my computer without having to come in here like this. Okay, very important. Number one, head and neck position is going to be vital. Okay, number two, your arms. What do I do with my hands? Okay, what you want is your arms have to be supported. So if you're at a traditional desk, your elbows might be resting on the desk itself. They might be resting on your chair's armrests. Okay, if you're in a standing position, your hands might just be resting on the laptop or on the computer or on the desk itself. Having your hands and arms supported throughout the day is going to take some of the pressure off of you having to support them yourself, and it's going to prevent you from shrugging as much. Okay, you're still probably going to shrug throughout the day. That's okay. Just finding awareness that you're actively shrugging your traps and then undoing that is going to go a long ways in not promoting this consistent tightness that we get from sitting. But here in my standing position, okay, so I have this text on the screen large enough so that I can read it from this position. My head is in a nice neutral position. And look, my arms are resting. So I can sit here, type, I can use the mouse, and I'm not really leaning forward or shrugging in order to get my work done. Okay, so if I'm doing admin work or if I'm taking notes on a patient, I'm just going to stand here, type in a nice neutral position, thereby eliminating some of the strain that I would if I wasn't in a position like this. Okay. And the last quick tip here is going to be, no matter what your position is, whether it's in a standing desk or a sitting desk or a transitionary thing, or if you got unless you have a treadmill, static is static. Okay, so standing is definitely a better option than sitting. My low back is not going to go through as much of a strain as I would with sitting. If I'm just standing all day, though, it's still just a static position, okay? And our bodies are designed for movement. And so the more often you move, the less you're going to get a lot of these postural strains that people come to my office with. Okay, so I recommend setting a timer or an alarm or a reminder on your phone, on the computer. There's plenty of free software out there that you can install on your device that'll shoot up a reminder every 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever you want. What I recommend is minimum twice an hour, so every 30 minutes. 3 times is ideal, where for every 20 minutes or so, you take a break from the screen and from the computer. And so now that break, it doesn't have to be, a 15-minute break where you're getting snacks and all this kind of stuff. All it is stepping away from it, stretching a few times, doing a couple of neck rolls, moving your shoulders around, doing a couple of cars with my shoulder blades, whatever it is, but kind of just breaking that static posture that you're in for, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day, whatever you might be doing. And so even if you're sitting, it would just be stand up, stretch, move around a little bit. If you're standing, it could be bend over, do some stretches real quick, less than 1 minute's worth of breaking from the computer and then jumping right back onto it. You're going to notice productivity is going to increase, actually, and they've done some studies on this. But mainly, you're not straining yourself continuously, nonstop at the computer. And I know we all get kind of lost in our work, and hours will go by without realizing that, man, I've been just working on this thing. And that's where these external reminders come in, and they can be a big help throughout your day. Okay, so we talked about head position, trying to maintain a good head position and not be shooting that head forward, putting more strain on our neck. We talked about arms position and the fact that they should be resting. Number 3, whatever you're doing static ultimately is static, and unfortunately you're a dynamic system that requires a little bit more movement. And so inject some movement and some motion into your day, and you're going to reduce the need to go get therapies, reduce the need to go get care for problems that you could have done a little bit better job of preventing. Okay, we're going to talk more about in our ergonomics series on specifics, but I really wanted to kind of touch base with the top 3 things that I think can help you today, okay, on Monday morning. Have a good one.